In a world cracked open by betrayal, where the earth itself bleeds and kingdoms fall into dust, one forgotten heir rises not because he wants the throne, but because the broken earth has chosen him. Before you dive into this epic tale, make sure to subscribe so you never miss another mind-bending, cinematic story that pulls you into worlds beyond imagination. The earth had not always been broken. Once, the kingdom of Arvantis stretched from the silver dunes of the east to the emerald cliffs of the west, a land blessed with balance, peace, and a crown that was said to be forged from the breath of the first stars. But peace is a fragile thing, and power, when envied, becomes a weapon sharp enough to split the world. The story begins 13 years after the Great Fracture, the day the crown shattered and the ground split open, swallowing cities, rivers, and entire bloodlines. Among the few who survived was Kale, an orphaned boy who had lost everything but his name. He was raised in the wastes, a land scorched by fault lines and haunted by creatures born from the earth's agony. He never knew his lineage, never imagined that the blood of kings quietly throbbed in his veins. All he knew was survival. Kale lived in the rusted remains of an abandoned mining outpost with an old wanderer named Idris, who claimed he had once served the royal court. Most dismissed Idris as a broken man rambling about lost kings and divine crowns, but Kale listened, even if he didn't believe. Idris often told him, the earth remembers its rightful ruler. One day, it will call. Kale always laughed that off, too busy hunting sandraiths or trading scavenged metal to worry about mythical destinies. But destiny, when it comes, rarely knocks, it erupts. One night, as Kale trekked across the cracked plains searching for salvage, the ground began to tremble. Tremors were not uncommon, but this was different. The earth pulsed beneath him, hot and alive, as if a great heart was beating below the crust. A vertical slit of glowing gold cracked open beneath his feet, and a blinding light shot into the sky. Kale stumbled back, shielding his face. From the fissure rose a crown, fractured, floating, held together by threads of molten light. Kale felt its pull like a tide tugging his lungs inward. The crown spoke not in words but in sensation, it knew him. It had been waiting. He ran, but the crown followed. By dawn, the world had changed. The skies burned with swirling embers, the wind carried voices in forgotten tongues, and Idris found Kale trembling by the outpost gate. When Kale described the crown, Idris's face paled. It has chosen you, he whispered. We must flee. If the crown awakens, so do those who seek to possess it. Kale protested, but it was too late. The earth split again, this time revealing soldiers clad in obsidian armor, bearing the mark of the usurper king, Malrek. Malrek had been the man who shattered the crown 13 years ago to steal divine power he could not control. The rupture broke the world instead, and the crown escaped before he could claim it fully. Now, sensing its awakening, Malrek's elite hunters, the Riftborn, had come to reclaim it. Idris shoved Kale behind a collapsed pillar and whispered urgently, "You are the last blood heir of Arvantis. If Malrek captures you, the world will never heal. The crown will obey only your lineage. You must survive." Kale wanted to deny it, scream that he was nobody, but the ground trembled as if urging him to accept truth. The Riftborn attacked, moving like shadows with blades forged from volcanic glass. Idris fought fiercely but was outnumbered. Before falling, he pressed a carved pendant into Kale's hand. "Find the Heartforge," he gasped. "Reforge the crown. Restore the earth." Then Idris was gone. Kale fled the outpost as flames devoured the horizon. The crown orb of molten gold circled him like a guardian, though he still refused to touch it. For days he walked, guided by Idris's pendant which glowed faintly whenever Kale turned east. Along the journey he discovered new abilities. Stones moved when he raised his hand, fissures sealed when he concentrated, and the earth whispered warnings before danger approached. It terrified him. He did not want this destiny, did not want a broken world counting on a boy who had once struggled just to find clean water. On the 7th night, he reached the Heartforge, a massive crater where the sky met the earth and the air shimmered like liquid metal. Legends said the first kings had forged the original crown here using the blessings of the elemental guardians. Kale stepped into the crater, and instantly the floating crown fused itself onto his chest like a burning star, its fractured pieces vibrating in hunger for completion. The earth shook violently, and from the rim of the crater descended Malrek himself. Malrek's armor was jagged and pulsing with dark energy, forged from the very fractures he had created. "You look just like your father," Malrek sneered. "A pity he died protecting a throne he didn't deserve." Rage surged through Kale. Rocks levitated around him, spinning like a storm. Malrek attacked, unleashing ribbons of corrupted energy, but Kale was no longer the boy from the wastes. He commanded the ground beneath him, channeling the earth's memory, its pain, its longing. The two clashed in a storm of stone and fire, light and shadow. Malrek's power was great, but it was borrowed. Kale's was inherited, woven into the bones of the land itself. As Malrek lunged with a final strike, Kale thrust both hands outward. The crater erupted with radiant energy, the broken crown lifted from his chest, shattering into dust before reforming into a single perfect circlet. It descended onto Kale's head, and the earth fell silent. Malrek disintegrated into ash, and for the first time in 13 years, the ground exhaled. Rivers flowed again, cracks sealed, the skies cleared. Kale, trembling, understood, this was only the beginning. Being king was not about ruling, it was about healing. The crown of the broken earth had chosen well. If this story pulled you into its world, don't stop here. Hit like, subscribe, and share to help this story reach others who love cinematic, emotional, world-building epics. And tell me which title you want next, so I can create another blockbuster-level tale just for you.